meet the friendly wildlife, which include but are not limited to refrigerators, which no longer hold food. Instead, they hold giant crustaceans lying in wait.
Call an ambulance!
Hey people, Jack here. So, just stealing Seth's intro. No, at the end of last work week, I received a nice package over Steam by a subscriber who gifted me a game called Underrail and its DLC. So, mucho gracias, thank you very much. SsethTzeentach, merci beaucoup. And I'm gonna stop with the gratitude. And well, I'm just very happy that I received that as a subscriber, so that's a very nice gesture of your part. Now, I got to play it for a little bit, and I forgot to say, it's quite something of a game. What I could describe it as is like Fallout 3 or 4, for I can't really speak of the first and the second game, for I didn't really play them. But like, if you, instead of going out to venture into the Commonwealth to find your son and or searching for the One Piece, you end up being trapped into a community full of Preston Garveys, both for the positive and all the negative, who constantly wants you to do some tasks to keep your community afloat in this post-apocalyptic world. And you do that all the while being psychic, and the way that you awaken your psychic ability is pretty freaking funny. I think that the thing that sells me so much as of now in this game is both the dialogue, which is written really well, and number two, which would be, I guess, the ingenuity in which to solve like different quests, which are structured in such a weird way, because it's been a while since I don't have like a very structured list and or indicator to tell me exactly where I need to go. I think last time that I experienced something similar was like in Disco Elysium, but at least in there I didn't have to read through so much because the director's cut or the final cut of it has almost everything voice acted. But this game is very good, and I think that it's the kind that will make even something as ingenious as Divinity 2 blush just a little bit. Now, with that said though, I'm stating all of this after having played around 6 to 8 hours of it, and for some reason I already miss sunlight. But I guess that Seth has played way through more to it and is going to tell us more about the game. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Wow,
Hey
gloves.
people, Seth here. Are you tired of breathing fresh air and enjoying the sunshine? Do you suffer from agoraphobia and hate open spaces? Then why not take a trip down to Underrail? Much like its predecessor, Undertale, this game takes place underground, where humanity exists in a desperate struggle to survive after the surface was nuked by the major megacorporations of the old world into nothing but radioactive ash. Meet the locals, who are either unhinged,
Metaverse
unstable,
there,
or
so
just
Facebook.
unsocial. Meet the friendly wildlife, which include but are not limited to refrigerators, which no longer hold food. Instead, they hold giant crustaceans lying in wait.
Call an ambulance!
Oh, I almost choked on my water there. So here's the thing, this is all part of the DLC, I think, just to be sure. Like, the architecture kind of looks like it. But anyways, like, I found myself for the very first time to go and look for guides as to how to play the game. And I saw this picture, like, well, this is how crustaceans are in the future. And I laughed for a solid 5 minutes at this.
Beetles, which now have a frontal cortex larger than most humans, which they use to cook you alive, and
the
cave
caves.
crawlers, which hide on the ceiling and inject your muscles with a paralyzing venom, so they can drop down and suck out your insides like a fly. If that doesn't already sound like a great time, why not hop on down to the city, one of the last few remaining bastions of human civilization. And that's not all. We boast one of the highest murder rates per capita in recorded history. You're guaranteed
Times 600.
to be shot, mugged, or drugged within the first 24 hours or your money back. So don't wait up. Sign up now and get dominated like the pipe worker you are in the best dystopian hellscape on the market today. Underrail is an underground cave fishing simulator with elements of jet ski surfing. It came out at the end of 2015, and it's probably the closest thing to a spiritual successor of Fallout 1 and 2. It's a
Oh yeah,
a
okay.
CRPG developed by the Serbians. And as with anything that comes from former Yugoslavia, it's absolutely brutal, unforgiving, and brilliant. So
True.
why cover it now? Because it also recently got an expansion, Underrail Expedition. Stig generously gave me a copy, so I thought, hey, how long could
that's
this
nice.
possibly take? 1 week and 60 hours later, I finished it. Not the main plot, not the main story, just the expansion. This game is huge. Let's begin. Story. You play as some schmuck with no real ties or background. However, you've been recently accepted as a citizen of Southgate Station, one of the more civilized places in this world.
The
now,
Red
it
Hound
falls onto
costume.
you to make sure your new home has a future. And that's it. No great calamity, no great disaster. We're already living in disaster, but we're trying to make the best of it. Good luck out there. You'll need it. Gameplay. Survival is your primary objective. Quests and missions get you paid, but they're always secondary to preserving your own skin. Before you start, you need to make a character, pick an avatar, and then you need to make the difficult choice between Oddity XP
Classic.
and Classic XP. Experts are divided on opinion, so I'll help you make your
Best cow.
choice. With Classic XP, you gain experience from committing murder, and you're gonna commit a lot of murder. With Oddity XP, you don't. You gain experience from dumpster diving, finding old pieces of gum, and looking at shopping receipts. Objectively, Oddity XP is far more realistic, since going through garbage cans and stealing copper wire is how most crackheads level up in real life. It's an experience, and after you experience it once, you'll never want to experience it ever again.
No,
So
I
don't
doubt
push the
it.
difficulty. Moving on, you've got skills, perks, and attributes. These are all quite interesting, but
Aniki.
I'm not going to explain them. You can't
God
be
damn
good
it.
at everything. And when logic and reason fails, the only answer you can give is extreme violence. This
Yeah.
game doesn't fuck around, and if your build sucks, you're gonna have a bad time. So I strongly recommend you take one of my builds, or builds that I stole from the forums. Doesn't
Yeah, you can
matter which
import
one,
some.
they're all pretty good. Combat is a big chunk of the game. Everything is turn-based, so you have to make your actions count, since very often you're outmatched, outnumbered, and outgunned. But unlike your enemies, you're capable of thinking for yourself. And despite the odds, you're very capable of dealing with almost every situation. So come prepared and you'll live a long life. Guns, melee weaponry, traps, grenades, improvised tasers, and crossbows are just some of the tools available to you. If that sounds kinda gay, you can just punch the
Just a
meat
little
off
bit.
everything instead. Not only that, but your character also has the potential to harness their psionic energy. What's that, you ask? It's actually a very recent mutation, which lets humans and other wildlife use magic. And it lets you cook people alive, fry their brains, or strangle them with their own shadow.
Oh man, this was quite the experience, having to learn about this. I think just generally the psionic build is, it requires a lot from you, which can be good, but like, because many of the characters have a tendency of just relying on melee, either humanoids or beast, or whatever monsters you want to call them. So just keep your guns and solid armor.
Why? I don't know. Because Underrail takes place in the Harry Potter universe, but instead of wands, you've got implants you inject into your brain, so you can abuse muggles with your mind magic. Thanks,
But I might
J.K.
just have to try
Rowling.
it.
Of course, we can't talk combat without talking about crafting. In most games, crafting is entirely optional. In Underrail, crafting is the difference between life and
Absolutely
death. For
essential.
example, a machine gun, as you may know, is very painful. A single burst at point blank might even zone you out.
Yeah.
So what do? We make a tactical vest and shove inside some Kevlar plates. Good work. Now, we don't actually die immediately. So, the enemy throws a grenade instead and shreds your internal organs. You're dead. Your money is now being used on the streets to buy both types of crack rocks and crack whores. How do we prevent this? By getting a shield. Not the Roman kind, the energy kind. The kind which has different frequency bands and involves a lot of money. The impact velocity of a grenade, extremely high. So we build a high frequency shield. Bullets don't leave a scratch.
Oh.
Grenades, a mild breeze. But a sledgehammer?
Yeah, of
that's
course.
Still bad for your spine. Also,
can't block
your
anything.
shield isn't gonna stop shit. So you die anyway, and your body participates in the free market. Reload and try again. You get the gist of it. Underrail's combat is a massive game of rock, paper, shotgun, which coincidentally gave this game a very bad review because
No!
it's not very good.
Oh, you know, there was a time where I kind of appreciated rock paper shotgun sometimes, but I don't know. I guess it depends on the games. I mean, after all, they rated Assassin's Creed Odyssey with a very, very high rating. Which, okay, we're not getting into that discussion again. I had that way back when the game came out. I had some appreciation for it. I think it's the most beautiful AC, oh, at least close to the most beautiful AC that I have ever played, but like the whole fantasy stuff is a bit too much for me, way too distant from the original. That's just my opinion, of course.
At their job. If we go a little further, here's a little taste of what you can do. Traps are incredibly lethal, so my current character frequently breaks the Geneva Convention by making improvised chemical bombs that digest and melt people's skin off. Since he's good at chemistry, he can spike grenades with RDX, which can depopulate entire rooms. For anything that doesn't die instantly, we torch the room instead with magnesium.
Yeah, it burns more.
Petrol fills the room with screaming charred bodies, and as an added bonus, even burns underwater. The crafting system is so damn good, it even inspired me to start crafting in real life. Now, while this sounds like the beginning of a manifesto, it's actually incredibly fun. The amount of creativity and options make each playthrough very entertaining. Aside from combat, there's no such thing as quest markers, just directions, so you'll have to learn and navigate the underground yourself. That's
no mini-map
easy
here.
Task, and it's very easy to get lost, which is why Stig made a world
Not
map
even a
to
good
help you
map.
orient yourself. It's very handy. As strange as it sounds, there's actually zero reason for you to explore. The places you have to be, the places you want to be, are easy to find. Any place off a beaten path is a place you don't want to be. Here's an example. There's nothing there. At least nothing
You
good.
shouldn't
Just
be
a lot of
there.
Pain, a lot of venom, and a lot of antidotes you have to burn through.
Do not go in bloody caves. There's nothing good for you there. It's just like... You guys know that scene in Lion King where Mufasa tells Simba about what is his kingdom? Like, my son, anything under the sun is yours, except for that black spot over there. That is Oakland. There you must not go. It's kind of like that. Like, what were you expecting?
For absolutely no reward. The caves are just that. Caves. What did you expect? In summary, the caves suck. Don't go there. Also, they remind me a lot of my own apartment. The ceiling recently fell off because of flooding. Did they repair it? No, they just stuffed it with cotton. And everybody
Insulation.
pretends we don't have a problem. But at night, we can hear it. I can hear it. Scraping about and gnawing on the pipes. We've got a hobbit living in the crawl space. And it's hungry. This isn't a cry for help.
Oh no!
I just explain my life situation.
Jesus.
Anyways, I just leave it some chicken bones or whatever. Usually, he's pretty happy with that. There's not too many quests in this game, but most of them are quite long, and usually have multiple ways to solve them. For example, there's one quest where you have to investigate the serial murders taking place in town. After counting the possibilities, there's 5 different ways to solve it. In one of them, you can discover the bodies, download the serial killer's documents as proof of their guilt, and turn them into the authorities. The other 4 involve you being a dumbass and getting drugged by the serial killer. They strip you of your belongings, push you down a shaft, naked and defenseless, into their murder bunker. If you're too slow, they'll walk down and cut you to pieces. If you aren't, you can grab a flashbang, stun them, and crawl into the ventilation system. Once inside, you can either lockpick the safe on their weapons locker and gun them down, put together a weapon to defend yourself, pull apart the fuse box and electrocute them, or hack the bunker's defense systems to gun them down remotely. And that's just a small optional side quest.
And
Another
visibility,
quest
though,
line
is
has
great.
you following the visions of some stoner at the bar. Help him out, and you'll find out he's not just some random stoner. He's actually an incredibly powerful being that can walk through holes in reality, and he uses this incredible power to steal hallucinogenic mushrooms from the general public.
What the hell? Nightcrawler really let himself go. Kurt Wagner lost his blue skin and became a hobo in the future. That's great.
Sometimes, though, his visions aren't exactly accurate, and he does tend to screw up. This includes forgetting about the mutants he locked in his kitchen before he got high, forgetting about the cats
Reference was good,
overcharged
mutants.
in his basement, and forgetting about rift walking health and safety when he teleports you both inside some Slavic military base in the middle of nowhere. He's a great guy, or should I say, a cool dude. This game's got amazing quest design, and if you want more evidence of that, there's another quest which asks you to track down and kill some gigantic savage living among the rat hounds, the self-proclaimed king of the rat hounds. Once there, if you're charismatic enough, he might offer you an alternative. You see, the king of the rat hounds has no queen.
Hold up. Wait a
Okay.
minute. Something ain't right.
This can go in either two ways. One, he wants you to be the queen. But like, you could also, the other option, bring somebody from your camp. Or anybody that you just find to be a queen. Either of the options is bad.
So, you can go off and kidnap some guy's wife. Why? I don't know. That's not important.
You find pleasure in kidnapping women. He stops to think.
What's important is that you can provide some crazy caveman breeding material and ruin some woman's life
Wait a minute.
just to see what happens. Dialogue
Oh my freaking god, that is so
is
disgusting.
also very well written and doesn't drag on. The music and the atmosphere are absolutely
good.
perfect. Wherever you are, you feel it. Wherever you are, you're immersed. It's like I'm actually inside an underground ghetto where everyone is either high off their balls from barrel soup or watching live-action blood sports on a TV. Underrail is not a game you play once. I'm not biased. I'm just trying to justify my 200-hour playtime. Expansion. So, what about the expansion? The expansion itself is new content you can access around mid-game once you get to Core City. You get hired
Okay.
as a mercenary contractor to defend and assist an expedition into a region no one dares enter, the Black Sea. What's out there? Death, ruins, pirates. And even worse, for some reason, your arrival has really pissed off the Icelandic natives. And let me tell you, there's a lot of them. There's so many of them that it's only a matter of time before they
Yake.
overrun you. No pressure.
Oh, they are Icelandic from, well, no quite, but like I can see some of the language used.
This expedition was doomed from the start. You also get some sick jet skis and jet ski combat, where you throw surfer dude bro pirates off their skis and watch them drown in the abyss. In Underrail, nobody knows how to swim. And there's a lot of designs. You can buy anything from the Boomer Core Blazer, the Shark with built-in torpedo systems, to the miniature naval tank
Devastator.
which is quite self-explanatory and very much lives up to its name. Jet ski serving
Jeez.
is the main way to get around an expedition, and there's some memorable locations, old facilities filled with malfunctioning AI, eldritch abominations, and tribal burial grounds where you can spend half an hour pulling bodies out of swamp juice. The expansion dialogue is also amazing. You can spend half an hour deciphering native language and debating philosophy with the elderly.
Fairy
In
man.
general, this expansion is
Schlick,
amazing,
schlick.
but I never mentioned, why are you here? What exactly are you looking for? And more importantly, why won't anyone tell you? Those are answers you can only find for yourself. And once
Oh.
you find what you're looking for, you should ask yourself a question. Should I bring it back? Or was it buried for a reason? Criticism. Originally, I had some bad things to say as well.
Why do I feel like it's gonna culminate in something like the space engineers from the latest Alien movies? Well, they weren't the last thing, it was the xenomorph race. But I guess you get my point, something like very existential.
Well, but you know what? I don't care anymore because the expansion broke me. So if my voice betrays any hint of emotion, that's because I don't handle existentialism very well. And when a man starts to question everything, you might not like the answers you find. Final score. I came for a post-apocalypse CRPG. Instead, I got an exploration of a human condition, of you, me, and this entire species, what drives us, and more importantly, where our species is heading if we're not careful. Also, Taoist philosophy. It's a great game, it's a difficult game, and it's not for everyone. But if you've got the time and patience, it's a very transcendental experience. That is, if you can look past the bad and forgive the tedious. I give it
Protector.
A completely arbitrary score. You can grab a copy of the game
The roads
on
installed.
Steam or GOG. And if Stig actually followed my advice, it's probably on sale already. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. I might disappear for a little while, since I forgot what outside looks like. I heard it's quite bright out there.
This
Award
dude.
thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos, despite their lack of any kind of real value. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
Oh my god. I like how he's affecting pretty much not just the rating system of games, but also the fact that he's making those indies being discounted. That's nice. That's pretty cool. Not discounted, but being put on sale. Wow. That's amazing, man. Alright. An existential RPG. In this, that was not exactly what I thought. Yeah, I guess the exploration into the human condition makes sense. Yeah, as I mentioned already, yeah, Disco Elysium. I am playing that one also on the side just a little bit, but that one is a bit more on the way that we view politics on either side. It's like, oh man, that game really provokes my views on certain topics, but it's nice to always see things from different angles. But it allows you to both be like the biggest of heroes or the greatest of assholes. But yeah, I guess that if Seth now doesn't get around touching that game, I might just do that myself. But with that said though, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. And yeah, if you have any other recommendation, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, if you like the video, first and foremost, go and like this one on Seth's channel. The link is in the comment section below. No, in the description below. What am I saying? And of course, like this one if you want to see more. With that said though, I wish you all a wonderful evening. See you guys in the next one. Bye.